Hello and welcome to this webinar. My name is Majid Hussain, and today we'll be looking at how a teacher would use Moodle to create homework or coursework for their students using Moodle. As always, we're using Google Hangouts on air, so while I'm demonstrating stuff going through this webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to post those questions using the chat facility enabled. Alternatively, you can make a note of my email address and send an email through to me. And finally, you can either you can also follow us on Twitter and tweet any questions that you may have. Okay. So today, as I've mentioned, we're going to look at the assignment tool in Moodle. Assignments are used for setting homework or coursework for students. It's a place for students to submit their work online. As a teacher, you can set deadlines using the assignment tool, and it's a great tool to use to provide feedback and grades to your students. Grading can be done online using Moodle, and Moodle also provides you the ability to download all work, all submissions that students have made for you to mark offline. So that's another option available to you if you need to use it. Okay, so I'm going to do a demonstration, and there's going to be 3 stages to this demonstration. The first stage will be logging in as a teacher and showing you how easy it is to create a piece of homework using the assignment activity. And the second stage will involve logging out and logging in as a student. The student will be enrolled in the course and will submit a piece of work, which will then be graded by the teacher, which is the final stage. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to exit this presentation and go to our demo site. Again, I've mentioned it before, our demo site is highly customized, so lots of time and effort has been spent to improve the end user interface, and so there's lots of things in here that you won't see in a standard Moodle. So I'm going to use our Moodle demo course again. So if I click on our Moodle demo course, we can see that we're logged in as a member of staff here. We can see there's a button here called Turn Editing On, and we can see we're in our history demo course. So this is how we left the course in our previous session, which was about uploading files. So I demonstrated different techniques in terms of uploading files and videos and other multimedia. And I also demonstrated the use of the label activity, which allows you to signpost and signpost resources and differentiate between content within the same topic. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is turn editing on. Okay, once editing has been enabled, we can go down to our chosen topic, which is today, it's homework activities. And all I've done here is I've added a topic heading and a short description to tell my students that this is where they'll find their homework relating to the Victorians topic. So here I need to click on the plus icon here. You guys will need to click on a link called Add an Activity or Resource, and this will bring up the activity chooser. And in here we will be able to see an option called Assignment. So Assignment is a standard feature built into Moodle, and it's a great tool to use for creating homework or coursework. So all we need to do at this stage as a teacher is fill out this form that Moodle has provided. So the assignment name is a mandatory field. We know that because there's a red star next to it. So it's important to fill out any mandatory fields within this form, otherwise it won't be successfully submitted and the assignment won't be created. And while I'm going through this form, I'm only going to be showing you the essential options which need to be looked at. So my homework is going to be called homework. So I'm going to label it homework and the title of the homework. Okay, and the next box is label description. This is where you would add your criteria of what you want the student to do. So in here, I want my students to watch a video, which I'm going to make available in this little window. And I'm also going to ask them to download a Word document, which is a worksheet that I want them to fill out. The worksheet contains a couple of questions, and I want my students to provide the answers within that same document and upload their work as a submission using Moodle. So I'm just going to put some short descriptions here. Okay, so it's just a little description there. Underneath this description, I want to show them the video that I want them to watch. So all I'm going to do here is type in the word video, and then I'm going to link this word to the video that I want my students to watch. So there's a video here, and this is a video that I want my students to watch, and I'm just going to copy the URL. So copy the URL. I don't need this tab anymore. I'll go back into my assignment, and I'm going to link this word to the link that I copied. So I'm just going to highlight the text, which I've done, so you can see it's blue, and I'm going to click on this link button here and paste in my URL which I've copied, and then click on create link. You can see now it's become a link because when I hover over it, it's underlined, and it's a dark blue color. Okay, underneath the video, I want to provide my students with a worksheet to download, so I'm going to utilize this additional files option here. So this is a great feature in Moodle, which allows you to upload any supporting materials that you want the students to work through. So all I've got is a Word document, so I'm just going to upload this Word document, if I can find it. So yeah, here's a worksheet. It's a Word document. I'm just going to drop it in here. So that's been uploaded successfully. And now I can choose when I want to make this assignment available to my students. So if I wanted to make it available straight away, I can just click on untick this box, and it becomes available straight away. If I want to enable it in the future, I can set a date in the future. But I want to make it available straight away so they can start submitting their work straight away. And I want it to be due on the 2nd of March, which I'm happy with. So midnight is when it's due. Okay, then we have a heading here called submission types. So this is basically how you want your students to submit their work. So all I want my students to do is download the worksheet and upload it as a file. So the file submissions needs to be enabled here. The other option that you would see on a standard Moodle is online text. So if you enable online text, Moodle will provide your students with a window which will be similar to this description box here, and the student would type in their response into Moodle rather than upload a file. So that's the only difference there. The benefit of using online text is the fact that you can set a word limit as a teacher. So when the student carries out the work in Moodle, you'll then know that they won't exceed that word limit which you've enabled. Okay, so that's online text, but I'll just use file submissions because all I want my students to do is download the file that I provided and upload it back into Moodle. There's only one file, so I'm happy to use maximum number of files as one. So I can increase this if I want to a maximum of 20, but all I want is one file at the end of the day, so I'll just leave it as one. Okay, and we can also see maximum submission size, so you can increase this number if you wish. And feedback types, this is basically how you want to get back to your students. So there's two useful options here that I would consider. Feedback comments is enabled, which I always recommend, and that's because when you grade the students' work, you can provide them with a grade, but also a box to type in your response and let them know where they've done well and where they need to improve. And you can also enable feedback files, which will basically allow you to upload a file and submit that back to the student as feedback. So that's another option that you might want to enable yourself, so it's there. There are other options here. You can see there's lots of different headings here, but you don't need to use these. The only one that you would need to use is grade, and in here you would basically choose how you want to grade the students. Do you want to grade them on the points system, or do you want to use a scale? So you might have scales created in Moodle, so you might have the lettered grades scale in Moodle, which basically allows you to grade students with a lettered grade. So you might want to give them an A as the highest mark, or F as the lowest mark. I don't have any grading scales created here, so I'm just going to use the points system, and the maximum points is going to be 10. I just want to make it simple as possible. Okay, and we can also see a new option here called grade to pass. So I'm going to put the number 7 in here. As long as my students achieve a 7 or more, then they will pass this homework. So you can choose to add a grade to pass points here as well. Okay, once I've done that, all I do is click on save and return to course. And as a teacher, I've done my job. The piece of homework has been created, which literally took 4 to 5 minutes. And all we need to do now is wait for our students to submit their work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to stage 2, and this involves logging out as a teacher. And we're going to log in as a student. And the student is called Cameron Cable, hence the username Cable. Okay, so we're logged in as a student, and there's a couple of ways in which the student can see deadlines or due dates of their any upcoming work. They can use the calendar block. So if I move to the next month, I can see now the 2nd of March is highlighted in pink. If I hover over 2nd of March, I can see there's a piece of homework which is due, and I can click on the homework, which takes me to the homework itself, and I can view the homework and then submit the homework using the calendar. The other option is by going into your dashboard. So if I click on my dashboard, this will take you to your my Moodle page, as it was known previously, but they've renamed it to dashboard now, and you can see your Moodle courses that you're enrolled on. And because we're using Moodle demo course, we can see there's an assignment that needs attention. If I click on that message, I can see that the assignment is called Homework Who Were the Victorians, which I just created as a teacher, and I can see the deadline is the 2nd of March, and I can see that my submission is not submitted yet, so I need to get moving with this assignment. Okay, so I can click on the assignment itself, which will take me directly through to the assignment. So I can see the criteria, I can see the video that the teacher wants me to view, and I can also see the supporting file that teachers made available to me as well. Okay, I can then download the file and add my feedback to it. So I've got the add submission button here. All I would do is click on this, and then you've got the file submissions box here. This is where you would either drop in a file into this area or click on this button here to upload your file. Now, because the file was a Word document, the teacher would need to download the Word document and then review the work and provide a grade. If the student uploads a PDF, Moodle then allows the teacher to annotate the PDF online and provide the annotation as feedback. So I'm just going to go into my Word document which I've created. So there's a Word document here. I'm just going to open that. So I've opened it up in Word, and this is the finished work that I want to submit as a student. And before I submit it as a Word document, I want to actually save it as a PDF. So if I go to File and Save As, I can choose the format as a PDF. Okay, so I'm just going to save it to my desktop, and there it's been saved. So we've got a PDF file now on our desktop, so I can upload the file from my desktop into Moodle. So here, this is where I'm going to upload it. So if I go into my file browser, click and drag the PDF in here, you can see now that it's been submitted, and all I need to do is save changes. Once I've saved my changes, as a student, I can see that the status has now changed, and it says submitted for grading, and it's not been graded yet because I've literally just submitted it. And I can see that my file's been uploaded successfully. Okay, so the next step is to log out and log in as a teacher again to demonstrate how a teacher would provide feedback and grade the student. Okay, so I've logged back in as a student, and now we can see that if I go into my course as a teacher, I can see if I use the recent activity block, I can see that the homework has been added by the teacher. Underneath that, I can see that there's been a submission made by a student called Cameron Abel. I can click on the piece of homework here. So Moodle does well in terms of keeping you up to date in terms of submissions made using the recent activities block. Okay. So here we can see the criteria and the video that I made available, also the worksheet, and underneath that I can see that there's one piece of work which has been submitted by a student, and all I need to do now is click on view / grade all submissions. Okay, I can see all my students here. There's only one student enrolled on this course. If there were more, then you would see multiple rows of students here, and all I need to do is click on this icon to grade my student, which is in the grade column. Okay, so now I can see the PDF. I can choose to download the PDF by clicking on a link here, but because it's a PDF, I'd rather use the Moodle interface to be able to view the PDF and annotate it online. So I won't give it a grade or feedback just yet because I've not seen the work, but because it's a PDF, there's a new option here called Launch PDF Editor. If I click this, Moodle then opens the PDF which the students submitted, and I can view the contents of it, and I can also annotate this PDF using these tools at the top here. So I can scribble on it. So I'm just going to circle some stuff. I can also add comments using a post-it. So I'm just going to put something in here. And you can also utilize ticks and crosses and smiley faces. Teachers love smiley faces. And I'll just add a final tick here. And once you've made your annotations, you can click on this close button at the top in the corner, and you can now see that there's unsaved changes. So you reviewed the document, you want to give them a grade, so I'll give them an 8 out of 10, and I'll give them some comments. So I'll just put good start. Lacks some content, but a good effort overall. Okay, so they're the comments I want to enable. You could add images in here or any other multimedia using this toolbar, but all I'm going to do is leave it as plain text for now. And there's a useful little option here called Notify Students, which is set to yes by default. And the benefit of using this is that as soon as I press Save Changes, Moodle will send a message to my student to let them know that their work has now been marked, and they can go in and see their feedback and their grade that the teacher's provided. So I'm just going to save changes here. So as a teacher, I've done my bit. I've seen the homework that's been submitted. I've reviewed it, annotated the PDF using the PDF editor, and I've provided feedback and a grade to my student. So the final stage is logging in as a student again to be able to see the piece of work and the grade and the feedback that the teachers provided me. this should log me in as a student. Okay, so if I go to my dashboard now, I can see that there's no assignments that need attention anymore because I've already made a submission, which has been marked. So I can go in and I can either go into grades here. So if you enable the grades option within your course, students can see their own grades here as well. So if I click on this, I can see the teacher's given me an 8 out of 10, and I can see my feedback here as well. I can click on the piece of homework, which will then take me to the actual criteria that the teacher set me, the actual homework itself. And further down, I can see the feedback, the grade, when it was graded, and the time it was graded. If there's more than one teacher in the course, then it's useful to know which teacher graded you. And there's also some feedback comments. And there's a useful button here called View Annotated PDF, which opens the PDF and shows you the annotations that the teachers made of your work. Okay, so that's how you would view your submissions and you can get your feedback. The other way of seeing the feedback is by going into your homework activities tile here. So if I go into here, I can see the homework. I can click on the homework and then I can view my feedback. So there's a couple of ways that you can see your feedback, and it's all very easy to use. Okay, so that's the whole assignment activity in Moodle. It's a very powerful tool. I've only showed you the basics of how to use it. There are lots of other settings that you could utilize in using the assignment activity. So the next date for your diary is Wednesday, the 23rd of March, which on this day I'll be showing you how to use the quiz activity. So the quiz activity again is another powerful tool which is used to evaluate the student understanding of course material. So you might want to provide them with some resources and then quiz them on the resources that you provided, that kind of thing. So that'll be the next session. And yeah, thank you for watching and spending some time out and watching this webinar. If you do have any questions, queries, feel free to follow us on Twitter and tweet us. Alternatively, make a note of my email address and send me an email. I'll do my best to get back to you. And thanks again for watching, and see you next time.